How Brer Rabbit was too sharp for Brer Fox. Uncle Remus says the little boy one evening, when he found the old man was with little or nothing to do. Uncle Remus, did the fox kill and eat the rabbit when he caught him with the tar baby? Law, honey, I ain't telling you about that, replied the old man, chuckling slyly. I declare to gracious, I ought to told you that, but old man Nod was riding on my eyelids till a little more, and I disremembered my own name. And on top of that, just then your mammy came calling you. What was that I tell you when I first began? I told you that Brer Rabbit was a monstrous clever creature, leastways. That's what I laid out for you to tell you. Well then, honey, don't you go and make no other calculations, 'cause in them days when anything was going on, Brer Rabbit and his family was riding at the head of the gang when anything was on hand. And there they stayed. Before you sheds any tears about Brer Rabbit, you just wait and see whereabouts Brer Rabbit ends up. When old Brer Fox found Brer Rabbit all mixed up with that tar baby, he feel mighty good. He just roll on the ground and laugh. By and by he up and says he, well, I expect I got you this time, Brer Rabbit, says he. Maybe I ain't, but I reckon I has. You been running round here sassing me a mighty long time. But now I expect you done come to the end of the road. You been cutting up your capers and bouncing around in this neighborhood till you come to believe that you're the boss of the whole gang. And besides that, you're always getting in somewheres where you don't have no business, says Brer Fox, says he. Who asked you to come and strike up an acquaintance with this here tar baby? And who's got you all stuck up there that way you is? Nobody in the whole round world but yourself. You just took and jammed yourself on that tar baby without waiting for any invest, says Brer Fox. Well, there you is, says Brer Fox, and there you'll stay till I fixes up a brush pile and fire here up, he says, 'cause I'm gonna to barbecue you this day, sure, says Brer Fox, says he. Then Brer Rabbit, he begin to talk mighty humble. I don't care what you do with me, Brer Fox, says he. You, just so you don't fling me in that briar patch, roast me, Brer Fox, says he. Don't fling me in that briar patch. It's so much trouble to kindle a fire, says Brer Fox, says he, that I expect maybe I'll have to hang you instead, says. Hang me just as high as you please, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit, but for the Lord's sake, don't fling me in that briar patch, says he. I ain't got no string, says Brer Fox. I expect I'll just have to drown you, says he. Drown me just as deep as you please, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit, says he. But don't fling me in that there briar patch, he says. There ain't no water in our here, says Brer Fox, so I expect maybe I'll just have to skin you instead, says he. Skin me, Brer Fox, says Brer Rabbit, says he. Snatch out my eyeballs, tear out my ears by the roots, and cut off my legs, he says. But please, Brer Fox, please don't fling me in that briar patch, says he. Brer Fox, he wanted to hurt Brer Rabbit just as bad as he can, of course. So he catch him by the hind legs, and he slung him right in the middle of the briar patch. There was a considerable flutter when Brer Rabbit struck the bushes, and Brer Fox had sort of hang round for to see what gonna happen. By and by he hear somebody calling him, and he look, and way up on the hill he see Brer Rabbit sitting cross-legged on a log, combing the tar out of his hair with his chip. Then Brer Fox knew he had been tricked mightily bad, and Brer Rabbit, he couldn't help but fling back some of his sass, and he holler from the hill, Why, I was bred and born in a briar patch, Brer Fox, bred and born in a briar patch. And with that he skipped out of there just as lively as a cricket in the embers.